how do I stop the tapes, the repeating things that I'm thinking about it in my mind that just keep happening over and over. And I know they're destructive. I know that they aren't things that I should be thinking about. How do I stop thinking about those things? So that's an important question because Romans 12 tells us, Romans 12 verse 2 talks about the renewing of your mind. And we need our minds renewed. You see, you come to Christ and you dedicate your life to him. And 2 Corinthians 5:21 says that you are a new creation. You've had a supernatural a rebirth where the person that you used to be isn't who you are now. But because you have patterns that you still remember from that old life of yours, you pull those patterns into your new life, including the things that you think about. And then if you're like so many of us, even after we're in this new life, we still jump back into that old life and participate in things that we shouldn't be participating in, including ways that we think, patterns of thinking. So what do you do about that? The Lord wants to renew your mind. And so we've talked lots in these different episodes about Scripture, learning Scripture, studying Scripture, praying. But what do you do when you're just bombarded again and again with those thoughts? So I want you to think about a compass. You guys know what a compass is. It's one of those things that when you're a kid, you had a little thing and there was a needle and it pointed north. So here's my question for you. True or false? A compass always points north. True or false? And all of you guys say, well, that's true. And it's not true. A compass only points north when there's no magnet around to pull it in a different direction. And if there is a magnet around, it's going to pull that compass needle towards the magnet rather than pointing it towards true north. So here's what I want you guys to think about. In your life, what is your true north? Obviously, there's magnets around things that you have to think about. You're doing your algebra. I got to do my algebra. I'm working at your computer. You have to think about all these things. But when those things that you have to do, when those magnets are taken away and you're able to breathe for a second, where does your mind go? Where does your mind go to? Because where your mind goes to is a good indicator of where your allegiance and your love lies. In other words, you get up from this YouTube video and you run to the restroom. What are you thinking about? Where does your mind go? And so there's a training of your mind that has to happen where you're doing your work, and when you finish your work, your mind goes back to true north, goes back to the things of God. Or you're cleaning the floor, you're washing your dishes, you're fixing your car, whatever it is. But when you don't have to be focused on that thing, where does your mind go to? And the problem for so many of us is that our minds are in a pattern. We have habits of our minds going back to things that really are destructive. And often for many of you, those are memories of the past, or the memories of the past of what somebody said to you, the words that somebody spoke to you, the things that people did to you, the pain that you received, that becomes your true north. And you keep going back to, I can't believe that person did that to me. And again, and again, and again. And every time that happens again, you're reliving the pain of that situation. So the retraining of our mind, the renewing of our mind is what God is inviting us to. And he's given us a new nature, that you're a new person. So let's not live in that old way of thinking anymore. So what do we do? How do you stop thinking about those things? Stop thinking about those sins. Stop lusting. Stop being angry. Well, it doesn't work, because what do you think about if I tell you, hey, listen, stop thinking about that girl that you're lusting after? What do you do? Now you're thinking about her. And so just telling yourself that you're not supposed to do those things doesn't usually help. In fact, sometimes it makes things worse. And this is what Dallas Willard, in his book, The Divine Conspiracy, calls the gospel of sin management, that we try to manage sin. Don't do this, don't do this, do this, don't do this, don't do this. And pretty soon our religion, this religion that we end up building for ourselves, is following a bunch of rules. Don't think about this. But here's the problem. You're not strong enough to muscle your way into not sinning. You can't do it. In fact, let me just show you an example here. You see this? This is a cup, a Dixie cup. Notice what's inside. Can you see? I don't know if you can see. And some of you will say, There's nothing inside. Yeah, there is. There's air. Okay, kind of a trick question. Okay, now when I'm in my office talking about patterns of thinking with people, I hand them this cup, which I always keep in my office because I've had the conversation so many times. I hand them the cup and say, take the air out. And they smile. So if you're in my office right now and I hand you the cup, take the air out, what would you do? You'd smile too. I hope you're smiling right now. You smile, you think, you can't get the air out of the cup. And I say to the same thing that I said to everybody else, yeah, you can, go ahead. And they say, no, I can't. And I say, yeah, you can. No, I can't. And it just goes back and forth. I say, well, listen. And then they usually take the cup and they smash it. I'm like, don't smash my cup. Now I got to go get another one. Or they put it up to their mouth and suck. But it doesn't work because no matter how hard you suck, there's more air that comes in. You can't create a vacuum. And your mind is the same way. Don't think about sex. Don't think about that girl. Don't think about what that person did to you. Stop thinking about money. And as soon as I say that, it's just like trying to suck the air out and it goes right back in. So what do? So after I explain that to people, I hand the cup back to them and say, okay, go ahead and take the air out. They said, I told you I can't do it. But there's a way to get the air out. You know what it is? If you know, put your comment below. See if you can tell me what it is. But here's what it is. You fill it with something else. You knew that, right? So you grab your water. Or what I do in my office is I always grab my water because I'm usually thirsty anywhere, and I pour the water in the cup. And there's no more room for the air. This is the solution for changing the way that we think, for renewing our mind. What is going on in this crazy world? You are a new creation. We crush the head of the devil.